What's going on, everybody? Keith here, June, Two Guys How To. We're in the garage today. We're working on this boat. Excuse me. We wanted to weld up some aluminum, and we got a couple welders that we always use. We got our 140C over there, and we got this 140, the Pro MIG, and we just got in the aluminum spool gun. It's the Magnum by Lincoln, the 100 SG. And this goes by a couple different numbers, the K something, and then they've changed the number now to make it a Pro. It says Pro, but it's the same exact thing. So long story short, we're converting the 140, and you want to check the chart, make sure yours adds up. The 140 and the 180s do line up to use this. And if you take the side cover off, this is where your spool is. It'll show right here, we installed this toggle switch, but it'll have your timer, and it'll have your aluminum gun, and it'll have just the MIG gun for welding your steels and stuff, whether you're using flux core or you've got your gas bottles right there hooked up to it. So what we did is we took this whole panel off. You take all the screws off, the handle slides out right here. If you undo the one long screw, all the rest of the screws are the same size. And we took this off, set everything right there. We got a magnetic tray with our bolts in it, and we did take the hinge off. And they kind of pop up. These little clips, when you undo the screw, you push them back and it'll pull up. Don't rip it up or you'll rip these little tabs off that are right here. So June's got all this going here, and basically this is how the unit looks. The toggle switch came with the kit. We already got it installed here, and it can only go one way. So yeah, the lever goes towards the aluminum gun or the regular MIG gun, and it comes with this little teeny cap. It's like a cork, just like this one. So you pop that out and you install this switch, and then everything that Lincoln has comes off of it. And you can see I'll pull it back, and this is all the original Lincoln stuff. You've got this 10 pin and you've got this 6 pin with the 2 wire, and then on this side down here you've got these little plugs. They're plugged together, the male and the female. And it's pretty simple. So we're gonna go ahead and just pop out the stuff that's here gently. June's went ahead and greased everything with our Permatex, the dielectric grease. He's got all that stuff ready to go on all the new connections. And we're gonna show you how it goes. It's pretty simple. This, like I said, we installed the switch first. You can do it first or last. All this was already plugged in, ready to go. So we're just gonna pop the 10 pin out. You just push that little clip in and it'll pop up out of there. And that 10 pin will connect into the receiving side of the 10 pin that June just snapped in right there. And then you've got this other one. The male that we pulled out is going to go into this female. So that wiring harness had a male, so he pulled out a male, he plugged in a male, he plugged the male from the Lincoln original machine into the female of the aftermarket harness. And then we're going to move on down to that 6 pin right there. If you pop that up and out of there, let's see if I can get over here.
So you'll see like male.
Yeah, you'll see the male and female.
Female, so.
And you'll plug that one in, and that one actually has a 3 wire. But don't be afraid. Just plug it on in there, spin it around. Yeah, it's a little tight. The wiring harness is pretty tight. So it went from a 2 wire to a 3 wire, and then that 2 wire that you pulled out of the Lincoln plugs right into the other 6 pin. Was that a 6 pin adapter? Yeah. On the new wiring harness? So it's just bypassing. It's 6 pin, but you're only using those 2 wires that we pulled out of the board. So that's good to go. Make sure those connections are good. And then on this male and female here, disconnect these and they plug right into these last two, one male, one female. And that's pretty much it for this unit.
I already greased them. So.
Yeah, he pre-greased everything. So he's just gonna plug those in. It looks harder than it is. And like I said, we installed the toggle switch. There's a notch there. It can only go either way. It won't go up and down. It goes forward towards aluminum gun, backwards towards the MIG. So this gun with your big spool in it can do your flux cord wire or your solid wire with your gas. And then we're just gonna use this setup for the aluminum. So if you pull the aluminum gun out of these connections here, you can go back to your old gun, and one machine can do it all. And the little plug, I'm just going to throw the plug down inside there. We put a little dielectric grease around the new gun if you're going with a brand new install, and it's got a cord coming out of the bottom. Make sure that cord is facing down at the 6 o'clock position. It'll slide in better. And you want to keep all of this loose. And then once that's up in there, let's tighten this down. Make sure that's pretty snug in there. Yep. And then this gun comes with another connection similar to the MiG. And June said there's a little notch right there in there.
You can see how they have the little things on them?
Yeah, it's got these little.
One's fatter than the rest. And that one goes up.
Okay, so the fatter little notch on the outside of the gun, that goes at the 12 o'clock position too.
You can see the little notches here. The fattest one's up top.
And he greased that too with a little dielectride. So he's just going to plug that right on in.
Just went in like that, just easy. I'm barely pushing.
Yeah, it barely goes in, and then you lock it with that little outside lock ring.
Just screw that in like that.
So this one's locked in, that's locked in. Everything's good. We never use this one at all for wire. We just bought it just for aluminum. And he's got the gun, and basically he took the cover off. We're kind of calling the gun a little cheap. It's just thin plastic. I'm kind of disappointed, but it is what it is.
It's like you run your wire, you do.
Yes. It's got it comes with a spool of wire. This is the 4043, all aluminum. And it's a 35 gauge, so it's a little thicker than we use, but you have to have it thicker. It'll probably bind up. And the reason why you can't have the aluminum there is because by the time it feeds all the way to the gun, it would kink up and it would leave a lot of residue inside your liner. So that's pretty much it for the wiring. All that's good to go. It's very simple. Just watch the video a few times. If you start getting confused reading through the manual, it kind of walks you through, but it's like J3 to J5, and you just plug and play and grease everything. Make sure everything's in there tight. Make sure nothing's touching the board. I don't know if I'd wire, zip tie these or not. I would just kind of tuck it in there. Make sure nothing's touching down in here. We're going to go ahead and spray this off with some compressed air to get the dust out of here and put this thing back together. So if you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, hit us up. Okay, so we got the unit on, plugged in. The gauges are all hooked up. We don't have the gas on yet, and June's just going to go ahead and make sure this gun does work and make sure all the circuitry's right. Yeah, so we're good. So I think the easiest way is just feed that wire through the back, especially when you're by yourself. You won't have somebody here to hit that spring release, and just if the wire's nice and straight, just click it a couple times. Boom, goes right in. And it should come out here once he gets that spool fed in there. And you can adjust that spool of how tight you want it. I don't know if there's a spacer in there. And you want to make sure the string's coming out the bottom of the spool too, not out of the top, or it'll get kinked up right here. This goes over top to cover it up. Yep, and this slides in there. And that's it. So put that together, set your, you can go online and set this whatever you want. We've got these gauges. We've got them at 14. We had another big welder, so we're going to double check and just kind of tool with that when we start messing with the aluminum. And we're going to put the covers back on, and we've got a whole little tray of scrap aluminum that you can get, if you work on stuff or you've got it laying around and you can grab it from somebody. And you just practice welding these things together, and you will get better and better at it. And then you can adjust the settings on the unit for whatever you want, the speed of the wire and your heat settings. So that's it. We're out of here. We got some stuff to do. Hopefully this helps you out. Watch the video a couple times. Plug that wiring harness in just the same way it came out. You can use grease, dielectric or not, and it's good to go. So now your welder will do aluminum when you change the guns, or it'll do steel. So till next time, thanks. Check out the other videos. We got a lot of stuff on there, and we got to get busy welding this boat and show you guys the finished product on redoing the wood floors on this boat and all kinds of other additions that we did. So, Two Guys How To. I'm Keith. That's June, and we're out. Peace.
I'm not a pig, I'm a lawyer.
What's up, Iggy? Talk to him before I shut the video down. Oh yeah. Yep. You're not a pig, you're a lawyer. He's not a pig, he's a lawyer. Peace.